It's me again, David Monteith. So I started the day laughing because I was watching people on my timeline going apoplectic with rage because certain TV shows have been banned or removed or something. Now, personally, I don't know if these removals are justified. I'm not sure I care that much because I haven't even looked into it properly. But I'm willing to take a fairly hefty wager that most of the people they're spewing their vitriol haven't looked into it that deeply either. But that's by the by, because to be honest, this whole thing is just another distraction from the real issue. So let me give you my take. First, this decision to remove stuff isn't the reaction of hundreds of liberal snowflakes. It's the decision of a few people in TV networks who have reacted to the current situation. It's their decision, not anyone else's, so shouting about all these snowflakes in the most snowflake-like way without a hint of irony is actually quite funny to me. But seriously, don't think that these companies are making some big ethical turnaround, that they're making some big ethical statement. They are not. It's business. They have in recent years come to identify ethnic and marginalised markets as demographics with spending power. Therefore, they are struggling to make sure they keep that demographic. It's a business decision. Secondly, people are listing the shows that have been banned and saying, what about White Chicks? So much for equality. Well, White Chicks, for those who don't know, was a Wayans Brothers film in 2004 where two black guys who were ex-FBI or something went undercover as white chicks to further an investigation. First off, you cannot compare White Chicks with the current slew of removals because we are talking about properties from different countries, different distribution methods, different legalities. In shouting that, all you're doing is showing your ignorance. Secondly, and this is what's being completely missed in so many arguments, is that there is a context to everything. Blacking up takes us back to the black and white minstrel show, which was seen on TV as recently as 1978. Now, minstrel, however you say it, this goes back to the mid to late 19th century in America, where white actors would use black grease paint when depicting plantation slaves and free blacks when they were on stage. If you look at the depiction, it's very black with big white lips and googly eyes. It's the ultimate in humiliating portrayal of black people. It was dehumanising and it made light of suffering. It ridiculed the struggle of an entire demographic and underpinned a system that was constantly trying to justify the inhumane treatment of a lesser people. Now, I've got no interest in White Chicks. I thought it looked pretty awful and I didn't actually warm to the idea of anyone whiting up. But my point is that blackface has a context, a harmful one, whereas whiteface doesn't. There is a different weight to the two things. They are not equal in their consequence. I remember the black and white minstrels being on TV in my house. I remember my mum looking shamefaced and small and my dad just shaking his head. The big one for me is this. Because of all this, I've seen white people claiming equality is dead. But I grew up with some cracking black comedy. And by the way, by black comedy, I mean comedy by and for black people, not dark comedy. That whole distinction thing is a very confusing thing for a kid and I don't like it. The Real McCoy back in the 90s was black comedy. Was it 90s? Whatever it was black comedy at its finest. But it was also really accessible to white people. In fact, you couldn't go to school without having to see it. Well, don't you dare go to school without having seen it and not being able to talk about it. There was a huge petition a while back calling for a DVD release of The Real McCoy, but it was denied by the network saying there wasn't enough interest. All the while releasing some cult white shows that also didn't seem to have much interest either. So you're right, equality is dead because no one who is outraged today said a thing when that and other black shows were denied. Can't have it both ways. So yeah, I woke up laughing this morning. Then I thought about my mum shrinking. I thought about my dad's face. I thought about the legacy of minstrelsy and the weight of blackface. I thought of the inequality in TV administration decisions. I thought about all the people on my timeline who said not one thing about the injustices at the heart of the current situation, but have suddenly found their voices when they're inconvenienced by the removal of certain TV shows, which you can probably download. I thought of all of that, and I realised that all those white people are losing their minds about this. Oh, they're right. It's not funny at all, is it?